Save a little for Mitt. Now, I know what you're thinking.
Nobody in this industry speaks their mind quite the way Clint Eastwood does. Here's a collection of moments where his complete lack of filter and sharp, unbothered attitude left other celebrities speechless.
So when you're in a Clint Eastwood movie, you don't even know the camera's rolling, and you just hear over your shoulder, "All right, go ahead." And you just keep doing it until you hear him say, "That's enough of that."
Reynolds and Clint Eastwood both rank among Hollywood's biggest names, but few people know they were once hired and fired from the exact same job on the exact same day.
There's a story I heard that you and Clint Eastwood both got started around the same time and that you were both fired from Universal Pictures on the same day. As young guys getting started out because they found fault with both of you. Why would they fire you, Clint Eastwood, or you? I mean...
Well, Clint, they said, you talk too slow and your tooth is chipped and you won't get it fixed. And you don't listen to anybody. You just want to do things your own way. And I said, why are you firing me? And they said, you can't act.
Talk to anyone who's ever worked with Clint, whether as a co-star or under his direction, and they'll all land on the same word: discipline. Few in this business match his.
I loved Clint. I worked with Clint.
He's a great. What did you do?
I did this movie called Midnight in the Garden, Good and Evil. I had one big scene in the courtroom.
That's great.
Yeah, I loved him. He was like,
that was a great movie.
He was the best director in terms of just like, he would just do your thing, shoot it, and then he'd go, "That was great. Just on this take, just acknowledge the jury. That's all I need you to do." I go, "Do you have anything else?" He goes, "No, how did you feel?" I go, "I felt great." He goes, "All right, you want another one?" He wouldn't even say action, remember? He would just say, he'd just go, "Jack," to Jack Green as DP, and he'd just do that rolling motion. Oh, I loved it.
Plenty of Hollywood legends hand their kids an easy path in. Clint refused to do that. Even his own son had to earn his roles like anyone else.
Interesting to me is that I learned that you have to audition for his movies, which seems weird to me because you'd think he'd know what you can do, what you can't do.
No. No. He does not. He does not. I don't think he likes me in his movies. Because here's the thing. He's put me in a few movies, and I've auditioned for a lot and haven't got a lot. And then Gran Torino came around where he was talking to me. It was like this little role. Yeah. And he got a call.
His character's supposed to be giving your character a hard time.
Yeah, exactly. He's calling me a pussy and a spoiled little brat or whatever. And he gave me that role. And on the day we were shooting it, there was a lot of stuff that came out that wasn't on the script there.
Staying at the top of this industry for as long as he has wasn't luck. A big part of it comes down to one habit. He never stopped truly listening.
On several occasions in this series, notably with Steven Spielberg, with Ben Kingsley, we've talked about the virtue and use of silence in film. Don Siegel has said the hardest thing to do is nothing. A number of people have paid tribute to your expressive use of silence. What you're doing with me this moment is what you do so extraordinarily well. On the screen, you listen. Is it that important to you?
I think this most important thing, it's certainly the most important thing as in acting, is listening. Anybody can expound a lot of dialogue, but a lot of people don't listen well. In fact, I think it's something in life. My wife and I were talking about this the other night. Is one of the great things I think they ought to be teaching in school, and not for acting, but for just life in general, is the art of listening. It's something that a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of people may listen or attempt to listen, but they don't hear, or they don't absorb what they're listening to.
Clint actually speaks. Even a star like Matt Damon goes completely silent to listen.
And I showed up and I'm ready. It's like my chance to work with, one of my heroes. And the very first take, I did it. And meanwhile, I've done this so many thousands of times. I have, a number of different ways that I'm thinking of maybe doing the scene. So he goes, "Cut, print, move on." And I go, hang on. Boss, I want to do another one. I mean,
I wasn't even in costume.
That was the first one. Like, you want to do it. And he goes, "Why? You want to waste everybody's time?"
Oh my God.
And I went, "No, I guess we're moving on." And it was one take.
He was holding a gun.
But there was a kindness.
For most actors, toughness is just something they perform on screen. For Clint, it was real, something he lived through long before Hollywood ever came calling.
My dad he was in a plane crash in his early 20s, and it was off San Francisco, and he had to swim like a couple miles in that water to survive. Yeah.
Holy shit! He crashed into the water.
Yeah. Most people don't know that. It's
whoa.
But what happened was he was in the Army, and it was right around the time the Korean War was starting, and they were flying. They were doing a routine flight or something, and they had to crash land in the ocean.
Before Clint Eastwood ever stepped foot on a film set, long before the world knew his name, his father lived through a night that could have ended everything before it even began. It happened in the early 1920s, when Clint's father was still a young man in his 20s, serving in the military during a tense and uncertain period in history. What started as a routine flight over the waters near San Francisco turned into a fight for survival that very few people ever hear about. Mission itself wasn't supposed to be dangerous. It was just another flight, one of countless routine operations carried out during that stretch of military service. But somewhere over the open water, something went wrong. The aircraft lost control and was forced into an emergency landing, crashing straight into the ocean below. In an instant, a calm, uneventful flight turned into complete chaos. The plane broke apart and sank into the cold water. Crew was left with only seconds to react. Survival instincts took over. Clint's father, along with one other crew member, managed to escape the wreckage before it disappeared beneath the surface. But not everyone was as fortunate. Pilot, the man responsible for guiding them safely through the mission, did not make it out alive. In the chaos and confusion of the crash, he was lost to the very ocean they had been flying over just moments earlier. The two survivors' real challenge was only just beginning. They found themselves stranded in open water, miles from shore, with darkness setting in fast. There were no rescue boats nearby, no signal flares, no immediate help coming. Just two men and an enormous stretch of cold, unforgiving ocean between them and solid ground. They made the only decision they could. They started swimming, mile after mile, fighting exhaustion, fighting the cold, fighting the growing darkness that made it harder and harder to see anything beyond arm's length. As night fully set in, two men lost sight of one another. What began as a shared fight for survival turned into something far more isolating. Each man was now alone, swimming blindly through black water, with no way of knowing if the other had made it, or if he himself would. Somehow, against odds that seemed impossible, Clint's father survived. He made it to shore alive, carrying with him a story that would stay buried for decades, rarely spoken about publicly. It wasn't until much later in life that Clint himself shared this story, revealing a side of his family's history most people never knew existed. It's a reminder that long before the movies, long before the fame, there was a much quieter kind of courage in that family. A young man swimming through darkness, refusing to give up, carrying a story of survival that would only later shape the family that carried Clint Eastwood's very name. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Your support truly means the world to me. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit that follow button so you never miss another video.